All right, welcome back to Mind and Magic. Today we're going to discuss nihilism. Is everything really so pointless? Let's get into it. All right, so nihilism is something that comes up time and again on occasion in comments and messages. Usually someone saying that, I have helped them with my work in overcoming their nihilism, or it's somebody who still needs help with their nihilism, believing that everything is all for nothing. And it's not that they're completely wrong. They're just not completely right. To adopt the nihilist mindset and belief system, one is typically depressed. Depression and nihilism go hand in hand together, because one just doesn't simply draw the conclusion that everything is meaningless unless they're having trouble finding meaning in their own lives. They don't have anything going on. They haven't found their purpose, and so they project that nothing has purpose. But even so, do they have a point? We all do eventually take a dirt nap. We all eventually pass away from this life never to return, at least not in your current form. And I know people will say, well, what about reincarnation? We do come back. We do return. But even if that's so, you don't return as you, and you have no memory of your former life. How many of your past lives can you remember right now? None? Okay, so then you don't come back. Not as you. Those past life identities are lost. See, because it's the physical body that stores most of the memory within your mind and in your cells. There is a such thing as cellular memory. Memory is stored in the body. The soul, your energetic life force, it plugs into the body. And then when you pass away, it detaches from the body until the next life when it plugs back into a physical body. But the problem with the new body is that it's brand new. It doesn't have any stored memory yet because it hasn't had the experiences. And so when the soul plugs into it, it doesn't remember. Now, the soul does have a memory, but it is more of a passive, subconscious memory than our active conscious one. So everyone has the experience of waking from a dream, and at first you can remember a lot of the details of a dream, but the more time that goes by, the less details you remember, the more it fades away, and the harder it is to remember. That's what soul memory is like. So you may recall the last spirit chat that we had done, where I had called upon the name of my cat that had passed on, and you heard a reply say, "That's my name," as if she was reminded of that, and didn't recall it until I said that. And I find that to be the case of many souls and spirits of the deceased, that they often have to be reminded of things before they can recall it, because it's more difficult to remember when you're not plugged into that active conscious memory of the physical body. You begin each life with a brand new set of physical memory, which is why you begin each life not remembering. Be that as it may, there are some memories that are just too strong, mostly traumatic ones that bleed through from one existence to another. And that's why you'll get some people who just have irrational fears. They may be afraid of heights because they took a fall in a previous life and it caused them a lot of harm, or someone who's afraid to go swimming because they drowned in a past life. But it's not something that they consciously recall, but instead it was something that was impressed upon their very soul, their subconscious. They have no actual conscious recollection of the event, but the trauma that was experienced and its effects are still there, just not as something that could be consciously recalled after having left the physical body that had experienced that trauma. And this is something that I've meditated on and received answers to for quite a while. So understand that even though you may take comfort in that reincarnation is a way for you to return, the consciousness that you experience is not returning. You will be completely different. And there's a pretty good chance that your next experience may not even be human. A large part of who we are is a result of our programming, and we begin each life unprogrammed. And so when it comes to nihilism and taking the stance that nothing really matters because we're here and then we're gone, so who cares and why bother? I can honestly understand that point of view. But I also understand that that viewpoint also puts absolutely no faith in creation and the divine. That things are set up so that you can have completely new experiences. That when one story ends, another begins. It's like chapters in a book, or rather finishing one book and beginning a new one, because it's a completely different story. But even if reincarnation weren't the case, we do what we can to press on. It's really another glass half full or half empty scenario, where the nihilist obviously chooses half empty and believes that nothing matters at all, that there's no point to anything, when a big part of why we're here is to find the point for ourselves, to discover and fulfill our life's purpose. So if you haven't yet found your life's purpose, then I can completely understand the nihilism. There is a really big difference in those who are on their path and fulfilling their purpose and those who aren't. It's like night and day. So if you are one of those who have yet to find their purpose, head on over to mindandmagick.com and download the free program, Finding Your Path and Purpose, which was designed to help get you back on track. All right, so that's about it for today. I want to thank you for joining me. Social media links will be on screen in a moment, and I will see you next time. Take care.